Alrighty. Okay, so welcome to the Presidents and Vice Presidents Workshop. Um, if you are with us now, if you could turn off your microphone, well, mute your microphone and turn your camera off, we'd appreciate it. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to comment those on our Facebook Live or through Zoom chat. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, so on our agenda, we're going to go over the president responsibilities, vice president responsibilities, some resources you guys can use, and then we'll have a quick Q&A, and then we'll adjourn.
Communication. Communication is key. Keep a constant communication with your members, advisors, lieutenant governors, board members, and Kiwanis advisors. With communication, everyone will stay updated and informed. Ways of communication can include Snapchat, Instagram, text remind, e-newsletters and emails, and then obviously hard copy newsletters, flyers, and thank you cards. President responsibilities include creating agendas, setting expectations for your other club officers, leading club meetings, promoting events and service projects, planning with key club officers and advisors for the upcoming meetings, and you're the voice of your key club to your school community and sponsoring Kiwanis Club.
So agendas. A big part of being the president and the vice president is designing and executing an agenda. We highly recommend that you create an agenda to run your meeting so that you have a clear idea of what you're presenting and so that all your members in attendance also have an idea what to expect. And what many key clubs can do is create an agenda ahead of the meeting and then hand those out leading up to it, or publish those so people can expect what's going to occur at the meeting. And so here on our sample agenda, you can see we begin with a call to order, followed by the Key Club Pledge, some upcoming events, committee updates, service project, and finally adjournment.
Okay, so these are some service project ideas that you can do with your local club. So you can become pen pals with a local nursing home. You can create dog pull toys made out of t-shirts. You can make no-sew blankets for a local hospital. My home key club actually makes over 200 no-sew blankets every year, and we donate them to a local hospital here in Fairfield. So I would highly recommend that one. It's a really fun activity that you can set up after school weekly, and everyone knows that they can always come to it. You can organize a food drive. You could have a fundraiser for one of our district projects via a bake sale or selling Key Club shirts or something like that. Trick or treat for UNICEF. You can put together KBTI new mother kits. You can make freshman survival kits. This is a really cute idea to give out during club recruitment weeks if your school has a club recruitment week, and you can give them out to freshmen who are, you know, new to the building and a little worried about that kind of stuff. And then you can always tutor younger students at local schools. So vice president responsibilities. I actually was a vice president in my home key club last year, so have a little bit of experience in the position, but your main duties will be to help plan officer meetings and service projects, to find new service projects to help your club stay involved in the community. You're gonna oversee and organize committees within your club, which we'll get into. You'll support and advise the president, and you'll go above and beyond your responsibilities. Mainly, I spent a lot of time assisting my president planning meetings and planning service projects for our club to attend, but you will do a little bit of everything.
So as president or vice president, you're clearly going to have a lot of work, and part of good leadership is delegating that work. So to really accomplish the most, we recommend creating committees. This is an awesome way to get members of your Key Club involved as either just a member of the committee or as the chair of the committee. And you can even have co-committees for extra support. And then a lot of the committee delegation can be done by the vice president. Some examples of committees that a lot of key clubs around our district use are recruitment committees, public relations committees, project planning committees, fundraising committees, decon committees, district projects committees, and international preferred charities committees. As you can see, some of these are committees that you might have the whole year. For example, the Public Relations Committee, but say you're really focused on recruitment at the beginning of the year, that's when you could make a recruitment committee just for a temporary period of time to accomplish a certain task. Also, as leaders of your key club, it's important that you stay involved with the district and that you're in touch, particularly with your lieutenant governor, about happenings in your division and the district as a whole. So first of all, it's super important to read your LTG's newsletters. You'll be receiving those on the 10th of each month, and those will consistently have important updates from the district. You can remain in contact with your LTG through other ways as well, mostly email, but a lot of LTGs also have social media created specifically for their division. A big part of being a president, vice president too, is reading the Yankee. That is our official district publication. It's created quarterly by the district editor. That also has a bunch of updates about what's happening in our district, across Key Club International, and also spotlighting individual key clubs in the district. Fundraising for district projects, normally at Decon, a lot of key clubs will come with donations for the district projects and present them at the Parade of Checks. And while we're not going to be having the Parade of Checks this year, it's still okay to donate to the district projects, and we totally encourage it. Next is submitting your club officer directory. This gives the LTGs information about how they can contact your officers to maintain that open line of communication. Submitting the annual achievement report. For those of you who don't know, the annual achievement report is an award given by the district, and it basically has an outline for all the activities that a key club should be doing, and all the point values are given based on how well the key clubs meet that responsibility. And that's just a really good guide, even if your key club doesn't win the award or doesn't even apply. The ideas in the award are still very helpful for leading a key club. Submitting secretary reports. This again gives us on the district board an idea of what individual key clubs are doing. And finally, following the district on social media and promoting those to your key clubs as well. So you should add us right now if you're not already on it, at NED Key Club on Snapchat and on Instagram. We also have the Humans of NEBT Key Club Instagram and Facebook and a Twitter too.
So while we're currently stuck at home and dealing with the coronavirus, we came up with some ideas to keep up club involvement during the pandemic. So you could be advertising your service projects that you and your officers come up with through social media and Google Classroom. My club personally loves Snapchat, so posting everything right to the story, that works great, and then people can slide up. Our at-home service projects that we came up with include blanket making, card making and masks for Tufts Medical Center, pen pals with the local nursing homes, or sending cards of encouragement to essential workers.
Okay, so head wizardry. Our presidents, as presidents and vice presidents, you are the leaders of the Key Club. The club members picked you to pave the way for the members and lead for the 2020-2021 Key Club year. Believe in yourself and have an amazing year leading your Key Clubs to success.
Finally, here we have some resources where you can learn about more about the district and Key Club International, as well as our district projects. So yeah, you can head to all these lovely websites for more information. NewEnglandKeyClub.org is probably the most relevant one for specific updates about our district and decon and all activities like that. So we're now open for a Q&A. You can ask these in the chat.
So I see we have one question in the chat, and it says, for those of you who served as a club president or club vice president, what was a challenge that you faced during your term, and how did you overcome that challenge? I would say one of my home club's biggest challenges, my president and I worked really hard to strengthen the communication between our club. So we created a Facebook group and a Google Classroom and actually a Snapchat group chat so we could easily communicate with everyone in our club, because at times it was difficult to get everyone's attention, and everyone isn't always checking every platform. So we just we always made sure that we were posting to the platforms that our members said they checked the most.
I was president, and one of my challenges was having upping club involvement. And so we started buying or getting incentives for them to want to do more things. So sometimes we would have like parties thanking everyone for doing what they did and stuff like that, just so they know that they're loved and appreciated as well as everyone else.
Awesome. Are there any other questions from any of our participants?
So I think we just got another question. So what is some of the ways to stay organized with all the responsibilities, and how to keep it clean and nice? Also, how do you find time for this? So my home club has officer meetings once a week. So that was just kind of a good time for everyone to put their heads down and work on things that we needed to get done, and, just kind of to reorganize our club in general. So I would really recommend weekly officer meetings if your club isn't doing that already. It's just a great way to keep in touch with all the other officers and have some good face-to-face time.
Mm-hmm. I also recommend using calendars. Individual officers can use calendars to plan out their responsibilities and what their deadlines are. And then I also recommend having an overall calendar for your entire club that keeps track of what service events you have, any meetings you have, any district events you'll be attending, and that way everybody can see it and know what to expect. From Facebook, we have another question that says, with pen pal and cards, is anyone having a tough time getting nursing homes to accept? I personally haven't heard of any nursing homes not accepting any donations or things like that, but I do know right now they're worried about the virus staying on surfaces, so I could definitely see individual nursing homes making that decision. But I'm not sure if anyone else has that experience. Okay,
so
we have
another question. Oh, you could go.
So another question that we have is, what are some things you have done as a club to appeal to upcoming freshmen? So I know at my school, at the beginning of the year for all the freshmen, they have a designated service or club fair, which is like our service fair at Decon, where each club has individual trifolds and they can present their club to the freshmen. So if you have any activities like that at your school, you can advertise to freshmen. I would definitely take advantage of those. Then also promoting on social media and just word of mouth are awesome ways to promote Key Club to freshmen.
My club, we did a little scavenger hunt thing, and they had to come find an officer and say the Key Club pledge, or like find things around the community. And that was a great way to get people to come in, because then they had to bring their paper in to get it signed. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, another question we have is, what is a good way to keep communication clear with members and how to get them to listen to you? So when it comes to communication, I've personally found that it's very helpful to use a variety of communication methods, because sometimes if people receive one email about something, they'll see it and then forget about it. But if they see the email and then they see an Instagram post, then they see a tweet or a text that's reinforcing that there's an upcoming event or anything, then I think they're more likely to pay attention to it. And there's also ways to hold members accountable by taking attendance at meetings if they're not getting any information from the club officers.
Another question we just got in, what are some ways to increase club participation with club officers and members? I would incentivize your service projects. So if you're hosting a service project after school, you could do your service project and then you could get together in a classroom and you could have a mini party or celebration just to reward your members. So there's kind of an incentive for them to come to your meetings or your service projects, or, you know, your club activities in general. Alrighty. Okay, we just got one more question. What are some ways to present your meeting agenda during a meeting? I'm pretty sure Andrew touched on this earlier, but you can always mail out your agenda to your members before a meeting so they know what's to come, or you can put it on a presentation slide. It really depends on how you present to your members. And then there's, how do you recommend Key Club presidents to communicate and work with their local Kiwanis Club and other Kiwanis family members? I would reach out over different platforms, as we discussed earlier. I would cross all of your boxes there. I would do social media and email, any way you can to make sure that you're keeping in close contact with the Kiwanis family, and then you can easily schedule service projects together, or you can invite them to one of your club meetings.
Another great way to stay connected with your Kiwanis is to have each other at one another's meetings. I know in my club, we'll occasionally invite a Kiwanian to come and speak or just sit in on our meetings. And then also every week we have at least one or two of our Key Club members attending their Kiwanis meetings. So it's good to keep in contact and face-to-face in that way. We have another question. For presidents and vice presidents beginning to plan for the fall, what are some service project ideas that we can implement?
I would suggest doing some local activities. So if you have any local elementary schools that need help setting up for a dance or any other activities, just giving back to the local community first so your members can really see where your efforts are going in their local community back to the schools that they grew up attending.
Fall is also a time when a lot of students tend to have very high school spirit with football games and other sports events happening and back to school. So planning service events around other fun events are a great way to have attention on Key Club and how to do some service. For example, you could have your Key Club selling something at a football game or taking donations at any sort of event like that.
Okay, so I think that's the last question that I'm seeing in the chat. So if anyone has any other questions, you can ask them on Facebook, and I'm sure some of us in this presentation will be able to jump over there later and answer them that way. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, thank you all for coming. I hope you're all happy and healthy. So enjoy and have an awesome service here.
Bye guys, thank you. Have a good Key Club year.